Good afternoon here from Austin, Texas. Good evening in the UK, out on the other side of the world. My name is Frank Salas. I go by the name The Talented Mr. Salas. And today we are going over our Digital Nomad series where I'm serving the talent tribe, where I serve those with talent and transform them into thought leaders by giving them a mindset adjustment on exactly how money can be made online. I have a wonderful guest for us today. This is Miss Louise Croft. I found her because I was looking for digital nomads, and I love fashion, by the way. And she is a fashion blogger, and I was like, oh, this is such a great fit. But then I got to investigate her a little bit, and I found out that Miss Louise Croft goes all over the world and she shops at thrift stores for really cool fashionable stuff. And she posts up on her blog that says, hey, for all you fashionistas that like to travel the world, she got very specific. If you go to this country and this city, go to this thrift store and you will be able to get these kinds of products or these kinds of garments. So I want to let you tell your story a little bit, but I was just like, whoa, that was just a perfect example of getting very specific. And in the talent tribe, I teach that people need to know their value to the marketplace, which you do, and you also need to know exactly who you're serving, which you also do, and the marketplace has rewarded you very, very handsomely. So without further ado, Louise Croft, tell the fine folk a little bit about yourself.
Hello. So I am British, 27, living in the UK semi-temporarily. I'm only here for a few weeks a year, and the rest of the year I live globally, all over the world. So my boyfriend and I spent most of last year in Thailand, but I think I went to about 10 different countries last year, all over. And yeah, thrifting as I go. So my blog is Pauper to Princess, the same on YouTube. And it's just all ethical shopping and secondhand fashion and how you can totally beat all the fashionistas just from a thrift shop.
I love it. I love it. So walk us through the process. So not everybody has that kind of job. Not everybody has that kind of lifestyle. There's some people that are listening to us right now who are on their way to work. Maybe they're on the treadmill. Maybe they're, doing some work for their job or, whatever it is they may be doing. And they're like, I want that lifestyle. I want to shop. I want to travel. I want to live in Thailand. I want to live in 10 different countries. Where did you start? What did you do in a past life? Or did you just wake up like this?
So my degree is in business, but I have always loved thrifting, always loved fashion. And I lived out in America for 6 months and all my friends had blogs and I didn't want to do a blog just about myself. So I thought I would do a fashion blog, but about thrifting. So it was a little bit different. So it's quite a specific market, but I think that's good. If you can decide exactly who your customers are and you really relate to them, then that's a really good start. So I ended up in this kind of niche, and then it turns out thrift shops have got really big and really trendy. So my niche has kind of grown, which has worked really well for me. So then I got a bunch of press coverage, and I decided to, I was working full time as a charity shop consultant. So I was doing design in charity shops, where they basically gave me free reign. I ripped out the whole shop, and then I got all these builders to volunteer and plumbers to come in and read shop like fully Pinterested up. So we did loads of like recycled materials and donations and all that kind of stuff. And so those shops turned out awesomely. But then when I got the opportunity to quit my job and move to Thailand, it just had to be done. So yeah, I think if you want to do something like that, you have to find a passion project. I would do my job for no money. I love it. And that's probably the way it's going to start out, is that you're doing it for no money. So you have to blog for a few years and really have a lot of passion and learn about photography and all that kind of stuff, kind of pre-game before you actually earn the money. So you have to find something you really love. And then if it ends up being successful, then you've got a double win.
Absolutely. That's phenomenal. That's like the fast version, I'm sure. I want to give a big shout out to Tracy Cooper at Resume Workshop. She's a superstar here in America. We also have Denai out in Chicago, and she's a superstar with the Talent Tribe. We also have my boy Claude. I don't know if he's in Canada or in the States right now. He's all over the world. Claude Diamond's in the Talent Tribe. What up, superstar? Claudia Santiago is in Canada. What up, Miss Superstar? And we have in Munich, in Germany, Sunshine Lady Annette. And of course, we have Louise Croft, and we just had Richard Ramirez join. So I want to give a big shout out to the live audience. We record these lives on Blab. And if you have any questions here in the live studio audience, make sure that you talk or make sure you type your questions out. So you had a job working, like doing something really awesome. You were, managing a freaking shop, and people were making it Pinterest level, and they were volunteering.
Yeah.
You had no numbers, but you had an opportunity to travel outside the country, and so you made it seem like, oh, it's cool, I'm just gonna quit. That's it. Was it that easy? Was it that easy to just stop?
Almost. I absolutely loved my job at this charity. They were called Lewis Manning. They were business, and they gave me so much freedom to. They had a whole chain of shops. I did over about 5 of them. Awesome. But the best career advice I ever got was do which one is more fun. So I was having a lot of fun there, but living in Thailand was just obviously going to like push the fun level. So I've always followed that advice to the letter. When I joined that charity, I also had an offer to work at a startup, and I was really torn between the two. Like the startup was going to be more money and I couldn't decide. And someone said to me, pick which one's more fun. And I thought, obviously it's the charity, it's going to be really creative. So I've kind of followed that advice ever since. I just picked the one that's more fun. And it sounds kind of short term and hedonistic, but actually it your soul into it. And so it does end up being more successful as well. So I definitely think pick the one that's more fun. And for me, Thailand was going to have to be that. And it felt very much like a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm sure I could go back to another charity and get another job. But when you're, I don't have kids, like I'm young, I'm available to move to Thailand. So I thought I just had a chance while I could.
That's great. That's great. I want to maybe rewind a little bit more and talk about, you come to America and you see these Americans writing on their blogs and obsessed with everything and living high strung lives. And you're like, I want to be like them. Walk us through that. Walk us through that.
Well, my American friends who were doing it, they had normal high powered jobs at stuff. And they were just kind of writing about maybe dinners out or weekends, and I wanted to do something that was a bit more of my whole lifestyle. And the thrift shops in America are so good. You guys are so lucky. So I was already thrifting a ton, and it just fitted in really well to do that. And there's so many bloggers now that I really look up to, and the industry is really booming. There's so much more opportunity. So I've still got a whole bunch of aspiration levels to go up. But hopefully one day I'll be as successful as some of the big ones. There's definitely, the market's growing and there's a lot more upper level opportunity as well. So that's really exciting.
That's great. So in the Talent Tribe, we really value live stream. Are you familiar with Periscope, Snapchat, Facebook Live?
Yeah. I don't really use Periscope, but I use Snapchat a lot. I love that.
Nice. With Periscope, for us, it's the fastest way to establish a following very quickly. And you said with blogging, it takes a few years. I have quite a few people in the Talent Tribe that are just terrified of hitting start broadcast. They will not do it. I've tried everything and they just won't do that. And they're like, I want to hide behind a keyboard and Instagram posts and stuff like that, which is totally cool. But I always tell them, hey, like live stream is going to get you paid this month and blogging is going to get you paid in 2 years or a few years, if you're lucky. Can you tell us about the process of monetizing a blog?
So I do some sponsored posts, but because it's mostly focused around charity, like secondhand clothes, they don't really have much money to spend. So mostly I reserve all my unpaid posts for them. And then I do the odd paid post for like an interiors brand or a fashion brand or something. And then there's also affiliate links. So I link to similar clothes, although you can't buy the exact one because everything thrifted is a one-off. And then obviously beauty, makeup and stuff is always able to affiliate because that's all new. So I do affiliate links and a few paid posts, but you have to be quite selective with the sponsored ones because audiences don't tend to be very forgiving if you go too far off brand. So you have to really be loyal to your brand and just wait out with it. So yeah, maybe I should give Periscope a go. It sounds like that's a good way to get some extra cash in.
That's great. So in the Talent Tribe, and myself personally, I don't personally blog. My blogs consist of a virtual assistant watching my live streams and then typing that out and then just throwing it to like the Huffington Post and like everybody and say, make this guy famous, and I don't necessarily, put out too much content in a blog format, but I've been interviewing lots of bloggers like yourself. And I just love what you just said. You took your passion, which is fashion, and thrifting in fashion in particular, and you were able to say, this is how I do that. Can you walk us through like what kind of topics you talk about? What are your blog posts about? If they're, not paid, not for the charities, like what are the typical value that you give your audience?
So it kind of changed over time. It started off just outfit photos of outfits from charity shops, and I still do a lot of that, and that stuff is really popular. That's kind of my core audience. But the more you build up an audience and a chance to have a voice, the more you want to kind of say more with it. So now I obviously do a lot of travel things, like places that are really good, or how to kind of travel like a local, things to not miss out on. But I also occasionally do politics or relationships or happiness. You kind of grow with your blog, I guess, and as you get a bit older and you find your voice more and you want to send out like bigger messages. So I do quite a few things now which are a bit more off the fashion topic, and of course I do some things about being a digital nomad, so how to get started or how to be productive or how to be motivated, all that kind of stuff. So the more your life diversifies, the more you want to write about all those different subjects on your blog as well, I guess.
That's phenomenal. How long is a typical blog post?
It's best for Google if they're kind of 300 to 600 words. So I always have mine about 400 or 500 words. And then a whole bunch of images as well, so that people can have the prose broken up a bit.
I love that. So when you want to get a paid like sponsor or a paid post, walk us through that. Do they come to you? Do you come to them? Do you negotiate? Like, how does that even work?
Yeah, they mostly come to me. There are like blog agents. So if you end up being like really major on YouTube, like, 500,000 subscribers, then you'll end up signing with an agency. But they mostly come to me once they see I've had quite a bit of press coverage. So they see you on there and they approach you, or maybe I get quite a few from Instagram if they'll see me on there through hashtags and stuff. So mostly they come to me. Quite often they come just asking for a freebie, and I'll reply like, have you got any money? And if they have, then that's awesome. So people are always going to try and get a freebie out of you. And sometimes I do it, and, you want to have some examples and a portfolio at the start of what sponsored posts would look like, even if they're unpaid. But you have to have confidence. Like, now that I'm getting enough views and enough conversion, I just say to them, like, no, I'm big enough now that you have to pay, and you have to have that confidence behind yourself, because a lot of people will say no, and often they say, actually, there's no budget, but we'll come back to you in the future when we do have some. Or as long as you say it kindly, I'm not just like, come back when you're rich. But if you kind of say like, I'm really sorry, I'm flat out, like, can you please keep me on your list for future opportunities? You can do it nicely. And then they often do come back later once they've got a budget. But a lot of companies now are happy to put money into bloggers because they understand that the conversion is so much higher than magazines or billboards. So it's definitely worth companies investing in bloggers, and the market for that is very much growing. More companies now are looking to do paid blogger outreach, and they're really seeing the value. I mean, I buy so much that bloggers have recommended, and I know that my subscribers are the same. So if I see something in a magazine, it doesn't tend to make me buy it. But if I see a blogger recommend it, I'm straight on the website, getting out my credit card. So it has real weight when it comes from another blogger. So I definitely think it's worth companies investing in blogger sponsorship.
I dig it. And so I have my own, boutique agency in the talent tribe. We have the talent agency where you bring me on as, people to, represent you or whatever. And what we do for the bigger companies that we serve is we, and we're in fashion too. We go out to peeps that have certain looks, and we just go out and we say, hey, we'd like to, give you this free caftan or this free bracelet or this free, whatever. And they're like, okay, we'll take it, no problem, but we need this fee. And then we're like, okay, and we're starting to see, who's charging what, and that's really cool. Some people who don't have that big of a following maybe don't take too much. And I know that paid sponsorship is only a portion of it. You said you also have affiliates. Can we touch on affiliates, on how they work and how you can monetize on that?
Yeah. So in case people don't already know what affiliates are, it's if I include a link, then it tracks through. So if someone clicks on the link and buys something from Amazon through my link, then I get a little cut from Amazon as a thank you for sending them some traffic. So it's quite often not very much, like 5, 10, 15%. But that stuff can add up if you have enough traffic. It's a nice way for your subscribers to be able to fund you a little bit without having to actually send you money directly. You can kind of claw a bit of money back from the rich big retailers. So yeah, I do always use affiliate links just in case someone buys something. And most affiliate programs are really good in that for Amazon, if they click through from my link and it's to makeup, but they actually end up buying some new light bulbs while they're there, then you still get the affiliate from that. So anything they buy from the site, if you were the one who directed them, then you get the money from that. So that's really cool. And affiliate linking is not at all complicated. I've just signed up with just one agency. It's like a Chrome extension, and then every website you go on, it has a little pop-up saying, do you want a link to make this an affiliate? So you don't have to sign up separately with all the different retailers. It's just one, and then it automatically generates the links for you so that you can just always use those. And it just can be a really nice extra income. You never know. If you're doing the blog post anyway, then it's a kind of passive income of way to bring some extra money in.
Definitely. What is the name of that extension? I'm so curious. That sounds so easy than what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, it's called Skimlinks. It's a Chrome extension, and it's like a big agency. So I think I've never come across one that isn't listed with them, but there probably are a couple. But yeah, right. Skimlinks I think is definitely the best. It's just a little button and it comes up with a link on every single thing you do. And I actually think because I've registered my blog with them, every link on my blog is automatically affiliate because I've done a plugin with them. But then if I want a manual link, maybe for my YouTube channel, then I can get that from the Chrome extension. So it makes it so much less work. I used to be with Affiliate Window, and with them you have to register individually for every single retailer, and they all have different ways that you get the links. And it was like Skimlinks definitely seems like the way to go. I'd highly recommend it.
What a diamond. So, lots of people talk about golden nuggets. I talk about diamonds. I love having those diamonds on the show. Thank you for that. We love sparkly stuff here. So, okay. That's great. So you monetize it with paid posts. You also monetize your blog with affiliates, which is great. Is there any other way that you monetize your blog?
You can do ads. I don't have any on mine, but a lot of people do have banners or ads or that kind of thing. But I also link my blog to other projects that I'm doing. So I briefly did a Christmas shop that was all kind of an Amazon wishlist type of thing. And at the moment, I'm teaching a lot on Udemy, which is e-learning courses. So I quite often link to my courses on there. So if I'm doing a blog post about makeup, I'll be like, if you want to learn more about makeup, I've done a big 2-hour course so that you can kind of learn all the details more than you can get just from a blog post. So it can be quite a good platform if you want to start stuff in future. I know a lot of the bloggers now have clothing lines or something like that, and it makes it, you build an audience who love you and trust you, and then after a while you can eventually start to sell other stuff to them.
I love that. So my whole thing is I'm the talented Mr. Salas. I currently have 7 different companies. One of them is a fashion line. Yeah. And it's out in Barcelona. I'm sorry, it's out in Madrid, in Spain, España, and Marbella, right there at Nikki Beach. And we had a boho kind of style look, and I've always wanted to be in fashion. I didn't know I was going to be in women's fashion, but women buy a lot of fashion. So it's a great business to be in, especially if your price point is like right and your quality is good. Mm-hmm. Oh man, it's phenomenal. So for somebody like me, would you advise me to have separate blogs for all of my individual interests, like of course fashion, but then real estate, outsourcing, social media, or should I just do the whole thing as the talented blog?
It depends what you're going for. If you want SEO, then probably separating them out and being really smart about keywords and stuff. But if you just want to build an audience who love you, then I think it's much better to be really rounded. And then if you do get press coverage, where are you going to send them if you've got 5 different blogs? So it's a nice way to put everything all in one place. So I try and I'm kind of building more of a personal brand where I am a 3D human being, and so I have 3D interests, and my readers kind of start to expect that. But I think if you were doing a property blog just to sell more houses, then you'd probably want it on its own just to be SEO friendly. But I think if you're thinking bigger picture than that and you want to build a brand, then I would say put it all in one place. So it depends what your end goals are, really.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's definitely great information. You mentioned something that earlier that you have a course. Tell us about your courses. Are you getting monetized on those, or are you just doing that complimentary for your tribe? How's that working out?
Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm teaching on a platform called Udemy, which some of your viewers might already know, but basically anyone who wants to can make a video course. So they're normally about 2 hours long, but they can be anything from half an hour to like 20 hours. And you film yourself teaching something. And if it's poor quality, then no one buys it, and that's kind of, you've wasted your time. But Udemy don't set very many limits on what you can upload, so it's kind of up to you. So of course mine are all really high quality, but it's a good way for you to start getting your name out there and getting some passive income. And the courses, you can make them free, but they're almost all paid, so they're kind of $20-$40. Quite often there's a half off coupon going, and Udemy, the platform, do most of the selling for me. I just take it as passive income, so I focus all my time on making courses, and then they focus on selling it for me. So that's really awesome. I've got about 25 courses, I think now. I've got a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a big. I've been doing it for about a year now, I think. Some of them are me talking and teaching my areas of expertise, but a lot of them are me filming other people. So, for example, I would film a real estate agent saying, you know, how can you get the best money for your house, or what should you do to improve your sale price, that kind of thing. So I film them, I do all the video production, all the editing, all the uploading. They just provide the expertise. So it's really good for them, because if they're successful, they're probably going to be busy. So it means that I can get really successful people and give them the opportunity to have an online passive income without having to buy equipment and learn about videography and find the time. So it's kind of a good split there, in that they provide just a couple of hours of their time behind the camera, and then I handle everything else. And in exchange, I get really successful experts to film. So it's worked out really well, and that I've been doing all over the world. So when I'm in Thailand, I hook up with other digital nomads there, or when I'm in London or whatever. So it's nice because it's quite transportable.
I'm finding I want to switch over to the digital nomads. I know we've been focusing on your blog a lot, but I want to switch over to the digital nomad sides. What does digital nomad mean to you? Everybody I find has a different yet similar experience and explanation of it. What does it mean to you?
So you're right, it is quite diverse. To me, it's anyone who is working full-time online. So some people, that means they work for a company. A lot of people have a full-time job with a company, but the company allows them to be remote, so they just do the work online. And sometimes it means being an entrepreneur. Sometimes it means being a freelancer, or like a mixture. So it doesn't necessarily determine what kind of work you can do, but I just think it means someone who works 100% online. Their location doesn't matter, so they can be anywhere. And then the nomadic side, I guess, implies that you move around a lot. We move around a lot. We kind of call ourselves semi-homeless. I often accidentally tell people I'm homeless, and then I'm like, oh, but no, not like the thinking. But yeah, so for us, it is quite a lot of movement, but a lot of people just get a flat in Thailand for 2 years and make themselves a base there. So it's kind of up to you how much you want to move. We do about 2 months in each place as an ideal. So you kind of settle in, you have favorite restaurants, you have a gym membership. It's like real life rather than traveling, which is kind of exhausting. But it's so beautiful, and you're seeing new places every so often and meeting new people. So we think 2 or 3 months is kind of the sweet spot where you settle in, you have a routine, but you also still get to change it up and try lots of different places.
That's phenomenal. I agree. I agree with a lot of that. I spend a lot of my time in the Philippines, where I have my outsourcing companies, and I'm usually there for about 3 months at a time. I think more than 3 months is a little too much. Yeah. And, you know, less than 3 months is just not even worth me getting used to the jet lag, you know?
Yeah. I've never been to the Philippines. I've got to go. It's on my list.
Everything is more fun in the Philippines.
Is that their slogan?
That's their slogan. Yeah. That's their slogan. No, it's really cool. Everything in the Philippines is about $1 American, so it's a little bit more. Oh, I don't even know. You guys are having some type of financial crisis, or I don't know. I don't even know what's going on.
We're all changed at the moment, but it won't last. It'll all even out. So grab your pounds while they're cheap, because we'll be back soon.
I love it. That's hilarious.
I'm coming to next week, so I'm glad I got my dollars a few weeks ago. I've been organized and already got them, so I'm coming on Thursday, which should be cool.
Nice. And you said you're coming to America on Thursday?
Yeah, I'm doing Boston, Atlanta, and then up to Toronto, over to Canada. Should be good.
Nice. Are you gonna
I'll be empty. I won't bring anything with me. I'll just thrift all day and come home with maximum weight limit.
Oh my God. That is awesome. That is awesome. Okay, so let's walk through your next trip. So you're going to leave here in a little bit to come to America, and you're going to go on a tour of following
Yeah.
your passion and shopping and thrifting.
Yeah.
You're not even going to pack any clothes,
No.
and you're going to buy new clothes, and you're going to just go on tour and do all this. You're going to blog about it.
Yeah.
Some of those people are probably going to pay you to come to their thrift store so you can blog about them and give them exposure. Is that true?
Potentially. There's a couple of American YouTubers that I'd really like to meet up with. So yeah, it'd be cool to get some collaborations going on while I'm out there. But I'm also visiting a bunch of friends, so it's kind of a working holiday combined. But while they're at their day jobs, I'll be out in the thrift stores 100%.
That's awesome. And you're going to be blogging about that, growing your audience, growing your sponsorship, your paid post opportunities. That's phenomenal. And I heard you say something else. You're going to be staying with your friends, and when they're at work, you're going to go, go out and play.
Yeah, it's true. They're all worried because they're like, I have to work. I won't be able to entertain you. And I'm like, don't worry. I don't need you. I'm going to be thrifting. So I'm really excited about it. It's going to be awesome.
That's awesome. This has been a phenomenal interview. We're going to wrap it up here a little bit, but for somebody who is listening to this, and most people in the Talent Tribe right now may have a job, or they may be a solopreneur where they're like the person handling the emails, sending the invoices, doing the bookkeeping. Can you talk to people on the importance of having systems in your business so you can live like this?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I know that you have a VA, and that's a really good way to go about it if you want to try and outsource a bit of stuff. And you should aim to be only doing the things that you really love. So I try and outsource as much as I can. As soon as I could afford it, I got myself an accountant because I hate all of that. And of course, someone like an accountant saves you money. He's paid for himself like 100 times over. So nice. Yeah, I would definitely say outsource as much as you can, but also expect that at the start there is going to be some hard graft and you're going to be working all these hours. But I've really focused my growth around passive income. Passive income is my dream. So, for example, as soon as someone told me about Udemy, I was like, perfect, that's passive income, I'm down. So having that opportunity just to jump on stuff when someone tells you about something, if you like the sound of it, just do it. And a lot of people say to me, I couldn't make a Udemy course because I don't know what I would teach and I don't have the right equipment. And I didn't have any of those questions. I was just like, show me how, I'm going to do it today. And I think we had our course, I co-wrote a course for my first one with a girl who was already on Udemy. And we went from idea to really about a week. We just filmed it like tomorrow and edited it and got it uploaded. And the best way to learn is just by doing. So if you're thinking about doing it, give it a try, get a couple of freelance clients on the side and build it up until you can give it a go and do it full time.
That's great. That's great. How long do you see yourself being a digital nomad? Is this like a forever thing or is this like a phase thing?
Yeah, it's so hard to say. I think I'll always work online, but of course, when I have kids, I want to be a bit more static location-wise. Although actually a lot of the nomads do have kids coming around with them, like either they're too young for school or they're homeschooling. And but I think probably a few more years and then we'll start to look at basing in one place. But I think we'll still be working online. We'll still be running multiple companies. I really like to spread my risk. The idea of having a boss who owns my paycheck is terrifying. So right now, if my blog goes under, it's okay because I've still got Udemy and vice versa. So I have about 7 different income routes, which is how I like it. Spread the risk.
I love that. That's phenomenal. You've been a great guest. You gave us so much value. I hope everybody who's listening to this will just go back and re-listen to this at a later time because there's so many gems that we had from here. I wanted to point out a few things that, you know, Miss Croft had brought to us. Number one, she was so focused on her passion and she was so focused on a very specific demographic or target in that passion. So she didn't do like she didn't do fashion. She did vintage, thrift, fashion, and cities around the world. That's her thing. Nobody's doing that. Do you have any competition who do exactly what you do, or any colleagues?
There's a few Americans, but there's only about one other English blogger who does charity shops. And they end up not really being competition because they kind of build the size of the industry. So more people start to think about thrifting and it kind of gets more trendy. So we're actually friends rather than competitors. And the person I'm staying with in Toronto is a thrift blogger who I've never met in real life, but I've known online for a couple of years now. So
nice. I love that. I love meeting people for the first time in person and you've already like known them for a while, like online. It's so cool for us to do that. That's phenomenal. You've been such a treasure, Luis. Thank you so much for giving us your value. How can people find you? If somebody wants to take your Udemy courses, reach out to you, ask you questions, go to your blog, how can they find you?
So the best thing to do is go to my blog, which is paupertoprincess.com, all words, no numbers. And then that'll have links to my YouTube, my email address, my Udemy courses, a bunch of advice blogs on how to become a nomad or how to shop secondhand. So head over to the blog, Pauper to Princess, and we'll be there at your disposal.
Awesome. Hey, we had 2 last minute questions come in. First off, do you know somebody at all of the cities that you're going?
No, so I do go with my boyfriend, so we know each other, but everything else we just go in blind. And often there is a community of digital nomads there, so we'll join the Facebook group. We're going to Berlin for September, so we'll join Digital Nomads Berlin and maybe meet up with some people there. And it's nice because you're immediately plugged into a whole community of like-minded people, but we don't normally have any specific friends there.
That's great. Where do you usually stay when you don't have friends? Do you stay at hotels? Do you do Airbnb? How do you find arrangements?
We normally rent an apartment because we're there for a couple of months. So we normally find an Airbnb apartment and then get a massive discount because we're staying for a couple of months. We normally get a kind of short-term let rather than a hotel, because then you have your own kitchen and living room and you can kind of feels more like home than a hotel.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. I just want to make sure we got those questions in from our live studio audience. Big shout out to everybody in the Talent Tribe. Thanks again, Luis. This is great. We'd love to have you back. We can't wait to welcome you here in America. Hopefully you have a great time. Hopefully you find some great stuff and great shopping. This was great. This was phenomenal. My name is Frank Salas, everybody. If you guys want to get more interviews like this when it comes to digital nomads, course creations, becoming location independent, making a passive income, and really conducting business online, you got to follow me at bit.ly/talented one. That is a short link to our Facebook group at the Talent Tribe, where I serve those with talent and transform them into thought leaders. So Luis, thanks again and have a great evening.
I'll see you guys again. Thanks for stopping by.
All right, bye.